Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leona Kotze. I am with Stellenbosch University LaunchLab, which is Africa's leading university-backed incubator. I am the director of LaunchLab's Proofing Lab, which is our food tech incubator, which is launching later this year. But don't worry, you didn't accidentally come to the wrong webinar. I am also the director of our various outward-facing engagements, such as our showcases, and I kind of don't hate public speaking, so I find myself in these situations often. So I hope most of you know why we are here today. To quote our event page, humanity faces unprecedented challenges, but nowhere else are we as resolved as solving these challenges than right here in Africa. Stellenbosch University LaunchLab's mission, in fact, is to transform seemingly impossible ideas into world-shaping businesses. And I assure you that the pictures that you will see today all fall very well into that category. We received 157 applications from 25 African countries and 2 from India. And after an intense selection process, we are very proud to present our finalists today. Each of these pitches features a science-based solution to not only an African, but to global challenges. And as I said, I assure you, each of them does indeed have the potential to positively shape the world around them. So I stopped sharing my screen and now I will instantly start doing it again. As I've told our contestants leading up to today, technical glitches, and so they absolutely wait for days like these to come for us. So hopefully me stopping to share my screen will be the only and the last one for today. So if we look at our program for the day, we are going to do some formalities now, as one always must, of course, and then we will move on to our pitches. So we'll start off with our idea pitches, followed by a short 5-minute comfort break, and then we will have our existing pitches, existing business pitches. Then judging, judges' deliberations will happen in a breakout room. And at the same time, we will also make breakout rooms available for you to join all of our entrepreneurs. So after that, we will, of course, announce our winners, and then we will close out for the day. We are on a rather tight schedule, but I am hopeful that everything will work out perfectly. So I would, of course, like to welcome our judges here today. We have Dikatsu Sepoti, who is an entrepreneurial leadership coach and consultant. She's the founder of Dikatsu, an entrepreneurial coaching and consultancy firm, and she works as an operations director for Perpetuate Africa, a boutique SME implementation consultancy firm. As the first female and youngest entrepreneurial leadership program officer at the Alan Gray Orbis Foundation, she is instrumental in the development of responsible, high-growth entrepreneurs of the future. She has worked as a curriculum designer and facilitator at the African Leadership University and worked as a mentor for EU Africa Annual Investment Summit with the Ministry of Economy in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, as well as at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Previously, she worked as a retail marketing analyst in the FMCG industry with 43 countries under her portfolio, focusing on pricing and distribution models during her tenure at Colgate-Palmolive, East-West South Africa subsidiary. Then we've got Dr. McElroy Hoffman. McElroy, sorry, you see I messed it up anyway. I got it right yesterday when we did a briefing with them and then waited for today to mess it up. So McElroy, he is the CEO and co-founder of Prelexis. He co-founded and launched the company in October 2012. And he is also an extraordinary senior lecturer in computer science at Stellenbosch University and a research fellow at the School for Data Science and Computational Thinking in Stellenbosch. McElroy holds a PhD in applied mathematics and has an undergraduate degree in computer engineering. When he is not seeing clients, doing research and strategically planning around Prelexis, he's enjoying good food and wine, running, traveling, and learning to speak new languages and playing the piano. Then Osai Sai Igoro, he is the managing partner of Ripple VC and also a very humble man, because everyone else, as you've now heard, gave me really nice long descriptions of themselves that made me feel really self-conscious about the fact that I cannot program anything and that I couldn't probably even list 43 countries, what not to mention had them under my belt. Sai is humble, as I said. He gave me a single small paragraph. Sai is an investor in Dollaride, Fleeting, and Nano VMs. He's previously a startup director at One Valley, where he supported the success of more than 100 companies like Private Core and Nascent Objects, both of which were acquired by Facebook. And last but not at all least, we have Victoria Henry, who is our Alphawave judge today. Victoria is a B2B technology marketing and communications leader. Her most recent role was as Chief Marketing Officer at a South African-based AI startup, Data Profit, recognized as a World Economic Technology Pioneer, selected for CB Insight's 100 most innovative AI startups, and recently secured $6 million Series A funding. Prior to this, Victoria worked in London for almost 20 years on a range of cybersecurity and cloud computing startups and global tech firms, including Salesforce, Symantec, VeriSign. In her current role, Victoria is responsible for marketing at Alphawave, which includes supporting the 14 innovative technology companies in the group. So, that being said, we now have our judges, we have our contestants. What is going to happen today? Our contestants will each get 4 minutes to pitch their business, and then our judges will have 4 minutes to ask questions. So of course, these judges that you've now heard so much about, I do wish to clarify that they are all independent judges, because some of the businesses we'll be seeing today do have some connection to LaunchLab, but I promise you nothing weird is going on here. These 4 good people here have nothing to do with us, and they are going to be the ones awarding the prizes. So on this note of Victoria, they, of course, the saying that many of us have heard is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And indeed, in this case, that is also so. We would not have been able to go anywhere at all without our 2 partners in this event, being Stellenbosch University's science faculty and, of course, Alphawave. Thank you so much to you guys for your sponsorship and for all your hard work behind the scenes to help us realize the showcase, and for your shared passion for celebrating and promoting science-based African entrepreneurship. So on that note, I will hand over to Professor Louise Wagner, who is the Dean of the Stellenbosch University Faculty of Sciences, to do a welcome from their side. And to give you all a break from my face and voice, because I will be emceeing and you're unfortunately going to be seeing a lot of me today. Prof, over to you.
Thank you so much, Leona. Good afternoon, everyone. So universities hold the key to reviving the long-term effects of the pandemic on the economy. The way to do this is to enhance universities' entrepreneurial programs. So these were the words of our Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Dr. Blayton Zamandi, at the annual National Entrepreneurship Development in Higher Education, Legotla, in September last year. So at this Legotla, the need for universities to create an environment conducive of unlocking creativity by creating platforms and other opportunities to develop novel ideas and entrepreneurship skills were also discussed. I'm very pleased to say that this is what we've been trying to do at Stellenbosch University, and specifically in the Faculty of Science over the last number of years. We've been trying to nurture a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship among staff and students in various ways, for instance, through entrepreneurship boot camps for students, webinars, and many more opportunities. It is encouraging to see that many of our staff members and students are translating their excellent research results into innovative startups. And in 2020 alone, despite the lockdown period, Stellenbosch University's technology transfer team, Innovis, established and welcomed 5 new spin-out companies. And I'm very proud to say that 4 of those were from staff and students from the Faculty of Science. So we are, of course, very grateful for our partners on this journey, specifically Innovis and the LaunchLab, also industry partners and investors. And today's Science Startup and Ideas Showcase is another one of our collaborative projects with LaunchLab, and we are indeed very grateful for the partnership of Alphawave in this initiative. So thank you also from my side to the judges and everyone who helped to organize this event. But lastly, thank you to all the participants. We are looking forward to your pitches, and we trust that you will also inspire others to use science to address the problems on our continent, but that you will also ignite the startup mentality that our continent so desperately needs. So with that, thank you, Leona.
Thank you very much for that, Prof. So unfortunately, Franz from Alphawave, he is the CEO there, he was unable to join us live today, but luckily technology has got our back. Am I right, scientists and entrepreneurs? Woo! So we'll be sharing a video.
My name is Franz Meyer. I'm from the Alphawave group of companies, and we're not a specific company with one product. We're a group of companies investing in a variety of interesting technology companies in the space of electronic and software engineering. So we're just more than 320 people in the group now, and more than 160 computer scientists, engineers, and also machine learning and AI scientists. So our field of technology that we invest in, we call the Internet of Everything. So that involves everything from sensors and electronics to cloud connectivity, data science, and web and mobile applications. And we've also got investing virtual and augmented reality. So the idea is that we know that in the next 10 years, everything will be connected to the internet, and we invest in companies and people that's active in these fields. So in terms of our culture, we've got this culture of working on interesting technology, but also wanting to build profitable businesses for sustainability. And then most critical is that we want engaged people working at our companies. And engaged people are technical people enjoying what they work with and actually getting things done. So we invest in domain experts in these fields, and we're looking for product opportunities that's internationally scalable. If you come and work at Alphawave, you will be working in one of these companies in either electronics, software, or machine learning and AI. In terms of our reach, so our first product was FECO, a computer simulation software package for antenna engineering, and we sold literally thousands of licenses to internationally. FECO, and FECO was sold to Altair, a listed company on the NASDAQ a few years back. But one of the companies that's still active and part of our group is the FieldSense product. So it's an electronic product for RF safety, and here we've actually also established international distributed channels, and we're the market leader in the United States and getting serious traction in the UK and Europe at the moment. So our general footprint, international footprint, is we build products here in South Africa, and we try to get access to international markets. And if you look at our footprint, we've got a variety of products that sell in Europe, North America specifically, and Australia as well. So one of our companies, it's one of the enduring companies and businesses at Alphawave, is EMS's antennas, part of the Meerkat and the SKA project. And with that company, we've built the most sensitive radio astronomy receiver in the world. And you can go and read in the digital media about the SKA and what Meerkat has done. So to move on, we've also got quite a number of new projects that we've invested in the past few years. One of them is Farm Ranger, livestock security collar, and I specifically mention this because in this case, we've literally developed the sensors, the connectivity, the data processing, and the web and mobile app to make the security collar useful for farmers to track farmers, to track sheep when theft or predators attack them. And lastly, we've got a very interesting company that we've invested in, Inrange. So Inrange is a smart driving range application where we've developed radars, distributed radars for people to track every aspect of their golf game when they're at a driving range. So you can see it as the Strava for golf driving ranges, and we've installed that in Greenwich and a number of other Greenwich and London and a number of other countries across the world, getting serious traction. All in all, if you work at the Alphawave, you will work at one of the companies in our group. You will choose your own adventure together with that company, but it would be in the field of electronics, software, and data science. Thank you.
Right. Now, I strongly suspect that no one came here today to listen to me. Unfortunately, also not to you, Luis, or to France. I have this very strong suspicion that they actually came here today to listen to these guys. So, without any further ado, Shanae, I see you there. Are you ready to do this thing? Judges, if I see that you are all very keen and very ready for it. On the scorecard, their scoring fingers are itching. If you could give me an indication if you are for some reason not ready from your side, then I will sing a song, as everyone seems to love my taste in music so much. I promise you there's so much more of that. But it looks like we are all good from the judges' side. So, Shanae, please take it away.
Great. Thank you, Liana. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Shanae Prangley, and along with my colleague Jolene Brooks, we head up Scientia Products. I must apologize, my colleague is being filmed at the moment, hence her absence. So what does Scientia Products do? We optimize human health through scientifically validated natural solutions. And how we do that is through the following way. So I'm sure we're all aware that the stress and lifestyle related health conditions are a big problem in society. And by these conditions, I mean things like gut health concerns, stress and anxiety, insomnia, and chronic pain conditions. In fact, the majority of people suffer from one or more of these conditions at some point in their lives. In the US, a recent study showed that at any given point, 60% of citizens have a digestive health concern. In the UK, a similar statistic showed at any given time, 20% of people suffer from chronic pain, while in South Africa, our own country, SADAG released a stat that shows 59% of South Africans will be diagnosed with a mental health condition at any point, at some point in their lives. So while pharmaceutical interventions play a very paramount role in managing a lot of conditions, unfortunately, with these specific stress and lifestyle related conditions, they don't always address the underlying causes. Yet alternative medicines don't always have the data supporting the use and safety. So this is where we come in. Scientia Products creates phytopharmaceuticals that are scientifically tested for both safety and efficacy, thus creating a product that has standards comparable to that of pharmaceuticals. Our products are formulated by experts to both relieve the symptoms associated with these conditions, but also to address underlying physiological needs, nutritional deficits, and heal compromised physiological systems. In terms of a more upstream approach for retailers, we offer a local product that is more accessible and has better price stability than international products, which are well regulated and well tested. And on an industry level, we satisfy the need for more regulated and tested products within our own local economy. Our team is headed up in terms of the business aspect of things by myself and Jolene. We do the day-to-day runnings of the business. Our co-founders, Prof. Knox Mukunda and Prof. Annemad Engelbrecht, are profs in botany and physiology respectively. They form our co-founders and lead researchers. And then our supporting R&D team consists of Prof. Andre de Villiers, Prof. Willem van Otterloo, and Dr. Catherine Kashula. All 5 of these professors lead their own research group, publish in internationally accredited journals, and are world-renowned for their expertise in their field. Our products incorporate their research as an integral part of our brand identity. In terms of our progress, we're currently sitting at a technology readiness level of 4 to 5, as we have different components within our formulation that are validated to greater and lesser extents. And as mentioned, we have collaborations between our profs and internationally on these medicinal plant species, for which our profs hold patents. We've done comprehensive market research just to verify our market need, and this we did through extensive customer discovery. We also established a very thorough industry network and confirmed our value chain and distribution channel. And then lastly, over the next 3 months, we've obtained pre-seed funding and will be utilizing this for toxicity testing to create an MVP. Our call to action, we have a need for investment, mentorship, and industry partners or connections. If you have any questions, please let us know, but we have outlined a budget surrounding our direct and indirect expenses as below. Then lastly, thank you for your time. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Shanae. And Scientia, right, judges, Dikatso, I'm going to put you out front first.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liana. Well done, Shanae. I'm a little curious about your distribution models and your value chain. I know you said, it has been, you guys have identified it, yes. But I'm curious to know about the commercial side of things and how you're planning to, deliver the kind of products that you want to bring to the market.
Okay. So we've identified that our target market within the Western Cape consists of about 1.5 to 2 million people. So it's not too small to branch out locally initially. So we will be launching in the Western Cape. In terms of the value chain itself, we intend to play to our strengths. So we remain predominantly academic, and in terms of, so we would be utilizing our R&D team to do the research, but turning to a very high-end source to shelf manufacturing partner to handle the stuff that they're best at, which is having a factory and running the extractions and things like that. So we would be outsourcing the majority of our value chain for that reason, is that we feel that that's where our strengths are best suited. Then in terms of commercializing.
Sorry, that was me, Shanae. I muted you there. That was the 1 minute we had for Dikatsu's question. Next up, Mackellery, please use your 1 minute wisely.
Thank you. How do you plan to validate further, or have you been validating the actual products in terms of the phytonutrients to actually help for those things that you claim it will?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I'll be a bit more brief than I was in the previous answer. Some of our ingredients that we have decided to include, in fact, the majority of them have been validated on a clinical level, where we wish to introduce novel phyto compounds, especially those inspired by our research team. We will begin with in vitro, in vivo, and then move on to clinical studies, depending on whether the product that we wish to launch is a short-term, medium-term, or long-term product. So we will be doing the necessary validation techniques, following a similar pattern to that of pharmaceutical regulation.
Great timing there, Shanae. Right, Osai, have you a question for Shanae from Scientia?
Yes. Hello, Lena. Hello, Shanae. How you doing? Great presentation. Quick question. What's the size of this market? I know you showed some stats, but what's the dollar size of this market, and what are the growth prospects, if you have that data?
Okay, sorry, we don't have the data in terms of our dollar market cap. We look more in terms of the percentage of South Africans or people in the Western Cape initially. We would most likely remain local for the next 2 to 5 years, just depending on export potential, but we do intend to branch into international markets, especially because we'll be utilizing African medicinal plants, which isn't necessarily offered overseas in their markets. So this would be a defining feature of our company. we do estimate that approximately 5 to 10 million South Africans, not just people within the Western Cape, form part of our target markets.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Osai and Shanae. Then last, Victoria, have you any questions? They are not technically a tech entrepreneur, but I know maybe you're curious, you know.
I'm indeed, thanks. So the previous question was very similar to what I did want to ask. So if you haven't done any market research on market sizing, what about the competitive landscape in South Africa and then internationally?
So in terms of the local competition, we're quite on the forefront in terms of how progressive our testing and validation techniques will be. As far as we're aware, we have a fairly big one main competitor who doesn't offer a lot of the plant species that we wish to offer. So there comes the uniqueness factor. And we would be doing, again, additional testing and validation techniques over and above what they do. So we really intend to lead the industry in this regard. And what's really cool is that the industry is heading in this direction. So we're a bit ahead of the curve in that sense. In terms of internationally, there would be more competition because overseas natural products are better tested. But again, if we offer African medicinal plants, especially with benefit sharing agreements in place, that gives us a very unique appeal to the overseas markets.
Thank you very much, Shanae from Scientia. Scientia is from South Africa, and they are also both Stellenbosch University alumni. Not sure if that came through, you know, quite clearly enough when Shanae was showing their team, yeah. And I'm proud to say that they are also LaunchLab Countdown Program alumni. They finished their program recently, and I'm happy to see some of what you learned there come through here. Thank you very much, Shanae.
Thank you everyone for your time.
Next up, we have Itmas. We have Tato from Lesotho. Tato.
Yes, Liana, I'm here.
Fantastic, Tato.
Oh, sorry.
Ready when you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tato from Lesotho, from Itmas. And what we're trying to do at Itmas is we believe that we are the future of transport payments in Africa. We want to simplify payments in that sector. We want to make them safer and quicker. What we observed in Lesotho is that mobile money has changed how Basotho make payments. I mean, we pay our utilities, we pay insurance premiums, we pay, we buy goods and services from merchants using M-Pesa. But for some weird reason, we still don't use M-Pesa to pay for transportation, and that is where we come in. See, the problem with cash payments in the transport industry is that taxi fleet owners struggle to keep track of their daily cash transactions and their revenue. And they also struggle to do same-day banking because they need to travel to the nearest ATM or branch. On the other hand, commuters are looking for a simpler way to budget and make payments for the daily commuters. In particularly parents that have children, they provide taxi fare in cash, which is a problem. That is one of the areas in which we want to solve. Our solution to this problem is a 3-piece product that will enable taxi drivers to collect digital payments. It will enable commuters to budget and make digital payments, by themselves, and it will enable fleet owners to track their revenue. Sorry. So what this 3-piece product includes is a wallet, first and foremost. So this wallet is QR code powered. It enables commuters to check transactional history, check the balance, and top up their wallet using mobile money, which we already have, which is quite prevalent in the market. The second product is Itmas point of sale. This enables the taxi drivers to collect payments digitally from commuters who don't necessarily have smartphones. So, just like you'd have the Gautrain card, you just have an Itmas card that you would top up every month. And when you make a payment, it will issue one-time authentication pins, to authenticate payments, and it will help the drivers to also check transaction histories. The final product is the Itmas back office. This is a product that goes to the taxi owners or the fleet owners, and this will enable them to view summarized business reports, request payouts, check outstanding payout balances, and also track the payment and payout history. The customer segments that we have in the market are private cabs, public cabs. We also have minibuses and buses as well. And none of this collect digital payments as of currently. The market landscape is really, our potential addressable market is about 21 million US dollars, and our serviceable obtainable market is about 2 million US dollars. The progress that we have so far, this idea was birthed during a financial inclusion hackathon hosted by the UNDP. And in 2019, we were also part of the Vodacom Innovation Business Incubation. Currently, right now, we are working on our minimum viable product or prototype, and we're still working on it. How we intend to make money is we want to sell the back office product on a subscription basis. We're intending on charging $450 per month for a basic plan, and then we also want to have a premium plan for the different types of transportation vehicles. We also
Sorry, Tato, you are the first victim of my muting hand today. Your 4 minutes are up. Judges, McEllery, we will start with you this time around.
I have heard that many times people don't want to do electronic payments, especially in the vehicle transport industry. Do you know about this? Have you validated this? And what makes your product special that people will actually use?
Oh, Tato, you are still muted.
So one of the biggest barriers to adoption of digital payments in the industry is the drivers themselves. So the drivers don't own their own cars, so they don't want to have to be transparent with the finances that they're making. But we realized that how they solve, it's an open secret that they're taking money from the owners. But how the taxi owners solve that problem is they set targets. So what they say is, just give me a target of X amount of sales a day, and just keep the rest for you. So with Itmas, we don't want to change that system. We just want to digitize it. So we want to give the taxi owners the ability to set targets for the drivers. And we want the drivers to actually be the champions for this product, because if the drivers can adopt this product, then the commuters will also follow suit and the owners will be happy. So we believe we can actually make that sale by onboarding the drivers first.
There we go. Thank you, Osai.
Right. Thanks. How is this? Why focus on taxi drivers? Because is this a wallet? It seems like a wallet product. Why focus on taxi drivers versus making it open to everyone?
So it's actually 3 products. So we have a wallet and then we have a point of sale. So the wallet, we believe that the commuters will adopt it easily. But if the drivers don't accept digital payments, then the product will break. So we believe that we did a stakeholder research mapping, and we realized that the most influential stakeholder in the system is the taxi driver. And if the taxi driver refuses to accept payments digitally, then it will not work.
Great, thank you very much. Then Victoria.
I think you've got a lot to get together there and different people to buy in, but I think it's an awesome solution, and further along than what we're using for My City Bus here, and having that accepted across all different methods would be awesome. Just quick question, you haven't mentioned security at any point, which is obviously a big issue with digital wallets. Any thoughts around protecting this?
So yes, we do have security on our platform. Basically, every account will be authenticated. When you make payments, you would have to authenticate your payments. So mobile money, for this product to work, we actually need access to M-Pesa's API, which is very secure already. So all we have to do is plug into an already existing infrastructure and just facilitate the user experience on the mobile devices.
Great. Last, Dikatso.
Thank you so much, Tato, for your presentation. I think I'm curious to know whether people will actually buy into this, and whether you've conducted enough market research to find out if this is something people actually want, right? Yeah, I'll go on a tangent if I carry on, but let me keep it there.
We did actually do our research, and as far as the committees are concerned, they do want the product. The only people that were not very excited about the product is the taxi drivers. And when we did further investigations, we try to understand why. And basically, they believe that once the app is at play, then they don't have control over the money. So we found a smart way to still give them control over the money, but just digitize the money that they have.
Great stuff. Well within time there. Tato, thank you so much. Tato from Lesotho with Itmas. Indeed, I agree with Victoria. It does seem like such a useful product for me. I mean, in other countries, people might not be used to it, but I mean, here, definitely in South Africa and apparently in Lesotho as well, taxi travel is a big thing, and it is often quite difficult for owners and the actual drivers to keep track of what's going on business-wise. Right. Next up, guys, I expect you to, you must just be ready for it. So Charles, are you just ready for, you are unmuted. So clearly you are ready for it. You can start sharing, Charles. Right, so we have Charles from Uganda with Aircool Africa.
Right. Growing up in a country that where most of farming families rely on subsistence agriculture, it is a very common trend that during days of harvest, families have actually more food that they can actually consume. But a few weeks later, most of the food goes to waste because of use of traditional methods of food preservation. And this leads to problems like hunger, malnutrition, undernutrition, and problems in child development. This costs us lives, this costs us money in treating related health conditions. But the real problem here is big, that causes all these issues to come is post-harvest waste. And post-harvest waste comes about, brings these really food-rich areas to have really these hunger and malnutrition that shouldn't be happening because of solutions out there that are either not effective enough, like the traditional food storage methods, but also like the mainstream methods like refrigeration are very costly, they are very power consuming, so they can't be realistically used by off-grid populations in Uganda. But the biggest problem also is that most of them are not environmentally sustainable. Most products are based off fossil fuels like food drying, but also some solutions like refrigeration use refrigerants that warm our atmosphere, which is dangerous. So our product is a low-cost solar-powered food storage unit. The device is inbuilt with a UV light irradiation process and evaporative cooling process. We chose these processes because with research realized that this is the lowest, this is the cheapest you can produce a device to use the lowest power possible so that we can reach these areas to realistically afford and use these off very cheap solar panels. So our technology mechanisms is made of two chambers. One chamber uses evaporative cooling, and evaporative cooling works on the principle that when liquids are heated, they lose air molecules. And when air molecules are lost in a liquid in our evaporative cooling pad here, then the remaining molecules have less kinetic energy. And when hot air comes in, it is cooled off and escalated into the fan, which drops the temperature of the device, which reduces the growth of different food pathogens. And UV light irradiation works by the principle of just breaking down the DNA structure of food spoilage pathogens, which kills them and protects our food. We've made progress and developed a large network of professors and students from two different universities, University of Colorado Boulder and Worcester Polytechnic Institute Robotics Engineering have helped us with lab space and mentorship, among other things. We have raised over 9,000 in grants and had one technology pivot from a design that with research realized wouldn't be as effective as we have right now. We want to first focus on low-income smallholder farming families, mostly in rural parts of Uganda, and eventually we will expand to larger markets outside in urban parts of Uganda and outside Uganda and the world overall. The size of our market right now of rural farmers is over $150 million. And when we expand to the rest of Uganda, it's over $260 million. And Africa and the rest of the world, we have a market potential of over 27 billion. We're asking for $8,500 to build our initial physical prototype of our device. And with that traction, we'll be able to raise more funds to get to our next levels. So our team is made of me, an engineer, Asima Francis is a chemist, as well as a crop scientist.
Oh, Charles, I'm so sorry, but that was time. I promise, guys, I would let you go on forever, but we have our rules and we must stick to them. Right, so Osai, this time you are first up with your question.
All right, Charles, I was enjoying that. So very quickly, I noticed that a slide there showed what looked like disadvantage of UV. And then I also noticed that your current iteration of the product uses UV as well. So could you clarify that?
So UV light is actually the disadvantage of UV is our strength. It's because it actually like UV light kills microorganisms that kill that spoil food, the bacteria that spoil our food. So UV light targets their DNA and kills them very instantly, and it's a very proven and effective method. So that's what we need. And so this is enclosed into a device, so it doesn't affect people at all. No one is exposed. Our device is totally closed off when UV starts working on it. So it's a disadvantage that it kills, but it helps us kill very effectively and uses very little energy to do that.
Thank you, Charles. That's going to be my quote for the day. It helps us kill really effectively. Didn't think that those weren't going to be the words that I hear today here at our pitch competition. Victoria, have you any questions for Charles?
I can't remember if this has been covered, but any idea of the cost? Because obviously you're talking about poor rural areas, and it's quite an advanced refrigeration technology. How much is it going to cost them?
We anticipate our product to cost just about $20, and eventually we believe that with the economies of scale, we will scale even lower. We chose these two processes, UV light irradiation and evaporative cooling, because these are the cheapest. Evaporative cooling is just literally an evaporative cooling pad and a fan. That's all. It's a very low quality fan, and then very low power consuming fan, and also UV light irradiation is just light. So our products are much cheaper compared to all other components of like a refrigerator, which is the mainstream device that stores food. So and it's 10 times less electricity used than compared to a refrigerator.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Wow.
Dikatso, anything from your side?
Yes, thank you so much, Charles, for your presentation. Really appreciate it. If you won this pitch competition, what would you do with the funds?
So if we won the pitch competition specifically, we have already produced 3D models of our design, and we have the drawings to actually 3D print and produce our physical prototype of this actual device. So we build with $8,000 or even less, we can raise money to be able to physically print our prototype that will take us to the next stages.
Thank you very much. McEllery.
For the future, have you even thought of repairs or serviceability of the units?
The serviceability of the unit, and why we want to start with rural areas, is because we are going. Our go-to market is going to be different locations in rural areas that will have different service points, and we'll build in all the rural areas we'll be entering into. We'll have a service station and an office, which will also be our marketing and distribution plant. So we'll have this service. It will be like wholesale units where the retailers will come for, but will also be like the service points where our users can also get points and using other different effective and non-fossil fuel-based food storage methods.
Thank you very much, Charles and judges. Charles from Uganda with Aircool. Anytime that I'm involved in a pitch competition, I always tell the contestants they have to remember that the judges are not here to get them, they're not here to catch them out or anything like that. But with that being said, every time I'm part of a pitch competition and I hear the judges' questions, it really shows to me the value in teamwork, because when we have many people thinking, we will think of so many things, because often I hear a question, I'm like, oh, damn, that's a good one. I should have thought of that. And that is how in the end, of course, we build holistic businesses. Next up, Stephanus, I see you are itching to share your screen. So Stephanus.
Yes. Hi everyone. I will be sharing my screen. There we go, and I will also be putting off my video to reduce the risk of bandwidth interference. Okay, there we go. Okay, awesome. I'm Stephanus, and I present Longeeva, Radical Rejuvenation. Longeeva is Africa's first and only age-tech biopharma company with a profound mission to solve humanity's greatest challenge, aging. We are crafting a future in which aging is no longer inevitable. Longeeva aims to create revolutionary and radical biotechnologies to relieve people in African nations from the growing burden of age-associated non-communicable diseases. Advanced age is the highest risk factor for dying from any other disease, and respiratory infections most severely affect those aged 40 and older, as can clearly be seen with the current COVID-19 pandemic. The burden of age-associated chronic diseases is becoming heavier every year, and we live in an unprecedented time in history in which there are now more deaths and disabilities caused by aging and non-communicable diseases than from infection and injuries combined. There are now more people over the age of 65 than children under 5 years old, and even though people are living longer than ever, more and more are suffering in a prolonged disease state. We are the solution. Longeeva's mission is to help lessen the burden of old age by innovating at the intersection of AI, machine learning, data science, and advanced multi-omics technology. To begin with, Longeeva will investigate the set of degenerative cellular and molecular processes that lead to the development of age-related chronic diseases. We will define what they are and design metrics on how to diagnose them. Next, we will use machine learning and AI to analyze billions of data points from every level of biological organization to create an adaptable and ever-evolving picture that captures the full complexity of human aging. A multi-omics-based bioinformatics platform will allow us to diagnose the progression of all age-related processes that occur in the human body. Our models will be adaptable, dynamic, and ever-evolving, and provide us with personalized guidelines for which therapeutic interventions to take. In short, we use machine learning applied to multi-omics data to create a profile that defines your true cellular and biological age. In this way, Longeeva transforms your age into an adjustable health state. We innovate at the intersection of multiple exponential technologies, and here at Longeeva, we believe that aging is humanity's greatest challenge, and thus the biggest business opportunity in history. The longevity industry will be the largest to ever exist, and all other industries will dwarf in comparison to its economic and societal impact. This type of ROI is much more valuable than money, because achieving practical results in longevity will dramatically improve billions of lives for every generation to come. This is a massive industry backed by big names like Jeff Bezos and corporations like Alphabet, and with several companies going into clinical trials right now, age reversal is no longer a matter of if, but when. Longeeva has developed a 10-year roadmap, and we will establish metrics to assess the functional state of any human cell. Our milestones will consist of exciting experimental demonstrations of our model's capabilities, and after 10 years, Longeeva will release its revolutionary technologies to the world. We connect with multiple industry partners to ensure maximal impact on society. We, as leaders of longevity, have dedicated our entire lives to the realization of its mission. I leave you with one thought. Even for the slightest chance that we do not succeed, should we not at least try? Thank you.
And thank you, Stephanus, for coming in under 4 minutes. Our program appreciates it. Victoria, can I guess that you have some questions for Stephanus, or would you like a minute to digest still?
No questions at this point. I guess I don't know enough about the detail of AI and machine learning and all that, but how in depth are your models, or is it really at the surface you're looking at numbers and historic data?
We will be looking at, so I had one slide where I showed that we develop a multi-omics platform. So we will be looking at your genome, your epigenome, your transcriptome, your metabolome, and your proteome to devise one could say, a profile that defines your health state, your age as a health state.
Awesome, thank you guys. Dikatso.
Thank you so much, Stephanus, for your page. I think my question was very similar to Victoria's. I was curious to know where you'd get the data from, and is it like just from personal kind of tests, or where does the data come from? That's the first question. And then secondly, what informed your projections for your ROI?
So to answer your first question, we will be using public accessible medical records, and this is a form of information that is growing because everything is being digitized nowadays, and everything is also becoming open access, especially when it comes to accessing medical records from hospitals. So that is the main input source of our information. And when it and your second question was about. Sorry, what was the second question again?
What informed your ROI projection?
Oh, so the ROI will be, that was a statistic that I got from aginganalytics.com. So this is a company that specifically analyzes the aging industry and the longevity industry, and they make mathematical projections on how it will evolve over time. So yes, $27 trillion. There we go.
Thank you very much, guys. McHillary,
yes,
our resident scientist.
Do you really think this is feasible using only machine learning?
Okay, so I would say that age reversal, the process of investigating the degenerative processes that lead to aging on a single cell resolution level, if we can acquire enough data and use machine learning and AI to analyze how that happens, we can make predictions on how to reverse those trajectories of degradation. Yes, and yes, I believe with the current rate at which technology is evolving, and specifically the cost of innovating in biotechnology, it's reducing faster than Moore's law predicts. I believe that this is indeed very possible. And the consequences there for society will be tremendous.
Then Osai.
Hi, love the energy. Love to learn more about the team. I don't know if you mentioned or if I missed that.
Okay, yeah, so our team consists of a bioengineer, an AI engineer, and me, the founder. So we all are focusing on the critical aspects that will make this company succeed.
There we go. Thank you so much, Stephanus with Longiva. Stephanus is a Stellenbosch University student, and he is definitely making me feel bad about my own student years. I was not trying to address the big issue of human aging at that stage. I think you would more find me in Bohemia eating a pizza and having a beer. But a different stroke for different folks. Am I right, Stephanus? I'm glad someone is solving this critical issue. Next up, Grace Agrohusquez from Nigeria.
Okay. Okay. Hi, my name is Grace James, and I'm here to tell you about an innovative solution that can help climate change adaptation. Agrohusquez is a packaging company that converts agricultural waste into single-use food packages, reducing environmental pollution and potentially climate change. According to Bloomberg Green, study shows that climate change is linked to 5 million deaths a year. Climate change causes droughts, increase in waterborne diseases, and other effects on human health. And it's a global issue because according to NASA, the Earth's average temperature has risen more than 2 degrees Fahrenheit since the late 19th century. The problem is plastic production and climate change adaptation ignorance causes a continuous increase in pollution and climate crisis. Here's a picture showing how in Nigeria, 50 billion plastics are used annually and disposed inappropriately. Our solution is the production of 100% biodegradable single-use food packages from rice husks, using green energy through biomass gasification technology and carrying out awareness campaigns, also developing a game application based on climate change adaptation for children of the ages of 5 and above. Here are links to our proof of concept and what our manufacturing process looks like. Our product line will include plates, cups, trays, and packages for e-commerce stores. The products will be water resistant, have no chemicals, and our products will decompose in 90 days, unlike plastic that take 20 to 500 years to decompose. Here are links to our game development budget, game application projection, and also videos of our current prototype. Our diverse team. I'm Grace James, the founder, with 4 years undergraduate experience in information and communication engineering and 1 year in research biodegradable technology. We also have a team with a financial consultant of 15 years experience, a team of research officers with experience ranging from 4 to 8 years, a mechanical engineer with an experience of 17 years, and a programmer with an experience of 4 years. Nigeria's packaging industry has accounted for 12% of the $4 billion recorded by the Middle East and African markets in the last 5 years. Our value proposition is quality, eco-friendly products following the SDG goals, alleviating poverty and educating members of the public. Customer segment includes food service industry, medical industry, and e-commerce. Our revenue streams will be export, local sales, conferences, and training, and also money from the gaming application. Other our competition includes plastic production, stainless steel, and so on. Currently in Nigeria, some local farmers currently burn their agricultural waste. We're a beneficiary of the UNDP Basket Fund. We've participated in Innovation Hub incubation, and also we received a grant from NDES Women Accelerator Program of $1 million. Our ask is $100,000. With this, compound annual growth rate is 15.5%. The investment payback period is 5 years, and a net profit margin of 64%. There's a link to show that. What we'll be doing with the money is we'll be purchasing machinery and plant and laboratory costs. We've currently registered our company. We've done the prototype testing, our ongoing market research, and what's left is production. Short-term impact is extra income for low-income earners, reduction of land burning, which produces toxic gases, production of sustainable packaging. Long-term is education, reduction of release of air pollutants, environmental conservation, provision of jobs, economic value creation, reduction of wildfires, and reduction of climate crisis. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Grace, again, coming in under 4 minutes. Right. I now lost track of my own judges. I think I'm going to start with Dikatso now.
Perfect. I think you're spot on, Liana. Thank you so much, Grace, for your presentation. I'm trying to understand the synergy between the game and the biodegradable products. Does one precede the other, or what is the synergy between the two? And then when you spoke about prototype testing, is this for the game or is this for the biodegradable products?
Okay, the purpose of the game is to create more awareness and give a mindset shift for children learning climate adaptation techniques. So that's what how the game is related to the food packaging. Although they're like different projects, but AgroHawksWest is designed to advocate for climate change adaptation. For the prototype, we currently have prototypes for the game. We're working on the game already. And for the food packages, we also have prototypes for that too.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Valerie, what do you have for us?
Plastics are cheap. Can you make your product also cheap?
The thing, yes, because of the current technology, it's a bit pricey, but hopefully as time goes on, we would sell the entire pack for like a cheaper rate. That's the whole goal.
Great, thank you. Osai.
All right, hi Grace. What's the plan to get this into every food producer, every store across the planet? Just tell us a bit about your distribution plans.
Okay, we plan on using affiliate marketing, selling in retail stores. Our major targets customers are quick service restaurants. So we plan on reaching out to them, and like I said, exports, local sales, and even during our conferences and training, when we interact with people during those conferences, we also plan to use that to penetrate the market. Also, our gaming application can also serve as a good marketing platform for us as users interact with it, and yes, different other media platforms. We also plan to diversify our products even into the cosmetic industry as we increase the lifespan of our products.
And then last, Victoria, do you have any questions for Grace?
Yes, I like the gamification of and trying to build awareness around that. I think that's very cool. Cost is a big thing, especially when you're looking at new materials as well as materials to break down plastics. Have you looked at anyone else doing rice husk? Bamboo is all I see everywhere. Is anyone else doing this?
Not in Nigeria, although I've reached out to a company in China that currently does it. So we've had a conversation concerning that, and I've seen their products too.
Fantastic, thank you so much. That was Grace from Nigeria with Agro Huskwares. And then, believe it or not, ladies, gentlemen, other persons, we are on to our final idea stage pitch for the day. And Buntu, I see, is eager for it. He's on my screen. He's ready to share. This is Buntu. He's also a Stellenbosch University alumni. He is from South Africa, and he's going to tell you more about Graphene Dynamics. Take it away, Buntu.
Hi, everyone. My name is Buntu Sitole, and I'm here to present Graphene Dynamics. So Graphene Dynamics is a company that mass produces single-layer non-grain boundary graphene sheets. Imagine a world where superconducting transistors, desalination of water, carbon capture effect was a reality. Graphene grain boundaries have been the reason why graphene can't deliver on its supermaterial properties. We target technology product mass manufacturers searching for revolutionary technology that will disrupt their industry, save them money and time. Current industry constraints on material cost and high quality requirements for the end product. Current companies can produce non-grain boundary graphene sheets at approximately 10 by 10 micrometers. We use neural networks and reinforced AI machine learning technology to solve the graphene grain boundary problem. We use the neural network to iterate through the solution and tell us the best process to complete in the lab, therefore saving us time from building all the different models in reality. The solution reduces development cost, increasing quality and reducing the time we need to iterate in real life. We will get a patent for mass production of single-layer non-grain boundary graphene sheets. We will mass produce the sheets and sell the raw material to tech firms. Graphene is the material of tomorrow. As you can see on the top left-hand corner, the coalescence of graphene domains is the issue. That is the big problem that everybody is trying to solve with graphene. This is a solution that we had iterated through using AI simulation to actually solve the graphene grain boundary problem. My name is Buntu Sitole, as mentioned. I am an entrepreneur working in the telecommunications space and research on graphene. I developed the solution to the grain boundary problem and complete physical experiments in my lab. Also, I have done some research and partnered up with Graphenia, where I bought samples to test, and I have my own autoclave that I've built by myself to create a chemical reaction where we actually built one, as you can see on the bottom right corner, where you can see the grain boundaries that I'm talking about in the solution for reduced graphene oxide. I am also in the Wi-Fi community network space, where we help underprivileged areas to gain internet access at a cheap price. I have acquired knowledge and experience since 2013 to understand the reality and the problems of graphene. The market is currently producing graphene to improve current technologies to about 30%, but the cost to implement those improvements is not viable or lucrative enough to convince change. We are currently in the development stage, therefore no revenue. We predict 6 to 12 months building the AI. Thereafter, we will build the lab product, run quality assessments on the material, get certification, get a patent, then samples, then send samples to the potential clients. All combined, this may cost up to 10 million rands. I would like AI expert help, opinion, and if possible, financial help to complete the AI solution. We are willing to offer up to 20% equity. In closing, quote from a formalist German mathematician, David Hilbert, who died 1943. We will, I can't see, tuitionist, I can't see, let me just move this, sorry. We must know, we will know, well, the truth from intuitionists is we don't know. Sometimes we can't know, but in trying to find out, we can discover new things that can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Buntu.
Yeah.
McEllery.
Yes, so do you have access to the data, or is the data readily available that you will use to build the AI solution?
Yes, they are on Google Scholar. You can go on there. There's a guy called Robert Murray Smith as well that I'm connected with. There's a whole lot of data around all the solutions around graphene, all the different types of graphene, reduced graphene oxide, and graphene in itself. So yeah, definitely there's a whole lot of data. I've already collected the data. I am trying to use IBM Watson already to actually try and solve the problem by myself. I'm also using modular neural networks to actually try and solve the problem. So that's what I'm doing right now. Does it answer your question?
Thank you, Buntu. Osai.
All right, thanks for that. What's the size of this market? I don't know if I missed that. I didn't get a sense of how big
the size.
this is.
Yeah, so currently in 2019, a study was done by Allied Market Research where they found the size to be $87.5 million US. But if you solve the graphene grain boundary issue, then you can actually approach companies like TSMC who build transistors, semiconductors through silicon, and they have they're already making above like $600 billion already. So, and they basically work with silicon semiconductors, and graphene is supposed to actually replace the semiconductor of silicon that is made out of silicon. So that is one of our, that is actually one of our first people that we look to approach. And we look to approach companies like Tesla as well, and NASA as well. So companies like that are definitely interested in this kind of technology, if someone can solve the graphene grain boundary problem.
Victoria, do you have any insights on the graphene grain boundary problem? I don't even know if I pronounced it correctly.
I've heard it before, but I'm really glad I've learned about it. What is so just to understand, like it's all very deep and quite complex to me. So just to raise it a level, what is the graphene grain problem and why should we replace the silicon chips? Thanks.
So I don't know, can you guys still see the screen?
Yes.
The pitch, okay, cool. So the graphene grain boundary problem, as you can see on the bottom, on the bottom image with the copper sheet at the bottom here. So this is basically the process that happens. So you actually introduce a gas, and then the plate will actually absorb the material, the methane, in this actual solution. And then nucleation will happen where it releases carbon on the sheet of copper, and then these platelets will form, but they don't form in single spots. They form, they don't form in from one side to the next. They form in actual spots, like in this picture here. So everybody's looking at it from the MIT's perspective, where they are saying they can produce it roll to roll and produce it from one side to the next, but that's not possible because of entropy and heat transfer.
Oh, Buntu, sorry, I had to mute you there. That was Victoria's minute. As much as I myself want, I think we should have a session after this one. Anyone who wants to learn more about this can come join us for it. We'll do an expert session. It'll be fun. Right, Dikatso.
I had a question of my own, but I'm very curious to find out the rest of the explanation, Buntu. So please carry on from Victoria's question.
So, okay, so I'll carry on. So as you can see, if you can see my cursor, this sheet over here is trying to actually bond with this sheet, right, and form an hexagonal shape. As you can see, it's 6 atoms that are formed right there. So when it tries to actually combine, there's a crack that forms, and that crack is the problem that everybody's trying to solve. If you try to solve desalination, for instance, through reverse osmosis, then you're going to apply pressure on the sheet, but those cracks are going to break. When it comes to conductivity, if you have a crack like that, and electricity is trying to flow, that crack will actually stop it from flowing. So that is why graphene at the moment doesn't really improve the industries very well. It only improves, and they're actually using it in concrete a lot nowadays. In America, they're using it in concrete right now to improve the concrete by 30%, but they're using it in platelets and these small chips. Rice University is doing another study as well, where they're doing the exact same thing to try and solve this, but everybody's struggling with the graphene grain boundary problem. And I think AI is the only way forward to solve it. There's no one.
Thank you, Buntu. Thank you very much for our lesson. This reminds me, in one of our meetings leading up to this, I was at the science faculty with Professor Bert Klumperman, who I see is also here. I was there with Vida, who is one of the administrative workers in the science faculty, and Professor Klumperman got really excited, and he started explaining some science about polymers to Vida and I on his whiteboard. And we were very excited. We're nodding along. It's awesome, but we have no idea. I still actually am not. I held the polymer in my hand, but I'm still not 100% sure what it is. Buntu, we're definitely going to have to do an expert talk where you can come dig into this. Everyone, I'm happy to say that we are going to take a 5-minute comfort break now. When we're back, we're going to start our existing business category. Agrix Tech will kick us off. So that will be 5 minutes from now. So please run, do what you must do, and then we'll see you back here 5 minutes from now. Fantastic.
And now you can see me.
I can see you, and I hope our judges are back as well.
I hope so too.
You probably more than me, Eugene. Right.
No, I just hope that you're lenient with your hammer hand.
Eugene, you've felt it numerous times and you know that I am no such thing. Eugene was also part of our previous Countdown cohort, one of LaunchLab's incubation programs. And during the demo day at the end of that, he also felt the pain of my muting, and he's not quite gotten over it yet, Eugene. Are you not used to people telling you to be quiet? Because it seems like with people like you and me, it should be something that happens often. But Eugene, we're ready for you. You can share your screen and then go for it.
All right, let me get that done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. I'd like to introduce you to Agrix Tech. And this is a company we believe is shaping African precision oncology. To do that, I'd like to introduce you to somebody special. This young man's name is Austin. He was my cousin. He was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 16 after having been misdiagnosed for about 3 years. And when they caught it, they put him on successive rounds of chemo, quite aggressive, but none of it took. And obviously I took that a little personally. So we started asking questions, my co-founder and I, about this whole cancer space, how we diagnose, how we treat people. And interestingly, the cancer therapy market's worth about $158 billion. The cancer diagnostics market, about $17.2 billion. And despite all that money being thrown at the problem, we weren't able to save Austin's life. And not only that, his death, like the 50,000 other in South Africa, cost our economy directly $108,320. So despite all this money, why aren't we solving the problem? And the answer is quite complex, but we can simplify it by looking at the main factor: chemotherapy drug resistance. 90% of cancer mortality is linked to chemotherapy drug resistance. And this problem is exaggerated by the fact that if you want to get screened and you want to get treated, that's a huge price tag. And even if you can afford it, the technologies aren't readily available. And to make matters worse, here in South Africa, only 2% of all data is African. Agrix Tech is fixing all of those. We've developed a 57-gene pan-cancer panel spanning 20 common cancer types, which allows us to detect the patient's cancer, and through our AI platform, link it to drug databases, clinical databases of every known case of that type of cancer, and get a report to your medical practitioner to get them on the right treatment first. We're also solving the access problem because we've packaged that in a unique, accessible cell-free DNA pan-cancer profiling kit by using liquid biopsy technology. Liquid biopsy, a simple blood draw, has several advantages. It's low invasiveness because we don't need a surgeon and we don't need to cut out the tumor. And because of that, we also have less selection bias because we're not just looking at the tumor, we're looking at everything that's bled into the DNA. So for the past year, we've been implementing that in South Africa. We are market ready. On the left-hand side, you have the gold standard in liquid biopsy coming in at about 68% accuracy. On the right-hand side, you have Agrix Tech coming in at 99.8% accuracy. But we're taking that one step further. We're fixing the data gap in Africa. Our novel research in the African population will lead us to our grand vision: unrestricted African access to precision medicine technologies. And if we can implement this, we open up a whole new market. $700 billion is our pan-cancer addressable market. We will not only eclipse the spending currently in the space, we will make more money saving lives than we ever did failing to do so. We will catch cancer early, we will treat it right, and there will never be another case like Austin's. I'd like to introduce you to the people making this happen. Myself, which I'm not going to talk too much about, and my co-founder, Hildsley Newman, who's built this AI platform from the ground up. We'd also like to thank the people that are currently backing us, One Bio Venture Studio and the Stellenbosch LaunchLab. As Liana mentioned, we are at Countdown 3.0 proud alumni, and Professor Richard Gordon, who is instrumental in the public health sector, helping us shape this vision and making it accessible to everybody, helping us shape precision oncology in Africa together. Thank you.
And thank you, Eugene, for coming in 6 seconds under. So this time you did not have to suffer my wrath.
So well, thank you. I had to practice endlessly. Thank you, Leon.
Fantastic. I again lost track of my judges. I think we are on Osai now. Whether we are or not, Osai, it's happening.
All right, we can go with me. It sounds good. Great presentation, Eugene. Can you share a bit about your plans for the future and what comes next?
Yeah, so right now, we can chat about this in the breakout rooms. We are currently pursuing the first of its kind data set in Africa, multi-omics pipeline collecting drug resistance and therapy related data from various African countries. When we have this established, we'll have the capability to develop our own test based on unique biomarkers in the African population. This then gets translated into not only our current treatment management platform, but a low-cost diagnostic, which should come in at just under $50 a test for complete treatment, diagnosis, and management in cancer, not only in Africa, but in the rest of the world.
Great, thank you very much. Victoria.
Great pitch, thanks. An area I don't know too much about, but it seems great. Who would buy the tests and the diagnostics? Who would be your main market you'd sell to?
So at present, with the current solution, we sell to doctors, or sell to patients indirectly through doctors when they've already been diagnosed with cancer, so that we can adjust their treatment management profile. But the technology we're developing is going to be a universal screen. So you can essentially, with your yearly checkup at your doctor, get screened for not only the risk factors, but if you catch it, what treatment you should get on as soon as possible.
Great.
Picasso.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Eugene. I think I might have missed Osai's question, but can you take us through some of your financial models? What do those look like?
All right, so we have raised R1 million through One Bio Venture Studios. They're currently backing us, and we are currently in due diligence with a few investors to raise about 8 million more. So we're gonna have about our initial research models in Africa at about 40 patients, scaled to 350, scaled to 1,000. And the last company that was able to do this on a novel data set ended up selling for 73 million euros as an acquisition target, which is essentially the value proposition that we aim the data at.
Thank you, Eugene and Dikatso. McAllery, any last words for Eugene?
Yeah, so it's just help me to understand. So on the one hand, you have precision medicine, and then of course we do the test. So I understand the test part, but I mean, there's also the medicine part. Do you work with pharma? How do you get that information that I still get the right treatment out?
Yeah, so essentially what we do is, because of international clinical law, your drugs that are currently in trials and have been proven to be effective are all curated in publicly accessible databases, but they're not necessarily correlated to patient survival, not necessarily correlated to patient outcome. So we can use all drugs available, and we link them to patient outcome, which has a whole different sort of database. We then essentially take this data and put that in a report for the oncologist to say, your patient has this cancer because of this specific variant, and this drug has worked for X amount of patients, giving them X amount of months longer. So start with this treatment, not with the rest.
Thank you very much, everyone. Right, that was Eugene from South Africa with Agrix Tech. Next up, we have Fela from Nigeria with Salubata. Fela has, unfortunately, he is the one cursed today with suffering technical difficulties. So Fela, I hope you are ready for us.
Yes, I'm ready. I'll just share the screen. Yeah. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Fela, and I'm the CEO and also a co-founder at the brand Salubata. And at Salubata, we have this mission to invent lifestyle technologies that help people and the planet. We currently occupy this niche of recycled plastic shoes that makes a profit whilst also benefiting people and the planet. And so, over the past few months, our current MRR, our monthly recurrent revenue averages around $10,000, and we'll be strapped to reach this. We currently have over 1,400 plus customers. We are currently participating in the 500 Startups Accelerator, and we've won numerous local, regional, and global competitions. And that has further validated our business. And so I'll show you our team. Our team is strategically positioned for competence in customer acquisition and design. And so we've done this before. I'm an environmental expert, environmental scientist, and product designer, and also a business analyst. We have a project manager, which is also our legal director. We have our CTO, who is an e-commerce expert and social commerce. We have our CMO, who is also a professional fashion photographer. Aside our immediate team, we also have advisors from the likes of Disney, Adidas, Rotis, and some VCs. Now, we saw a huge market opportunity here. The global photo market is currently valued at $264 billion. By 2027, this will be $564 billion. We also saw a huge opportunity in the sustainable footwear market, which is currently valued at $7.6 billion, of which we just decided to take about 10% of this sustainable footwear market share. By 2027, this will be worth $1.2 billion of our own market share. Now, our target audience are primarily male or female, that average between that's between low to medium level of disposable income, and they are seeking an experience of comfort, quality, and service differentiation. And they are aged between 18 to 35, resident in urban and peri-urban. Now, the question is, why do we do what we do? In a year alone, there are over 381 million tons of plastic waste produced. Sadly, just only about 9% of this waste have ever been recycled, like ever. We have another situation whereby we have a lot of recycling companies around, but the volume of the plastic waste in the environment not only remains constant, but also more in the environment. And so what we realize is that we have more people reusing these wastes rather than recycle or upcycle them. And so with a background in environmental science and in shoe design, we started imagining if we could convert all of this plastic waste footwear. And so this is the reason why we decided to occupy this niche of recycle low-cost plastic shoes and makes a profit whilst also benefiting people on the planet. And so here is our invention. We currently have a patent on our invention. And so our competitions lies are currently unicorns, and involved is Adidas and also Rotis. These people are based in the North American region. And so for us, we have a lot of edges. So aside the fact that the shoes are made from plastic waste, they're also modular. Modular in the sense that they can be readily detachable. And so we are helping the customer spend less, wear better shoes. And so for the shoes, you can readily throw them in the washing machine. You can readily also keep your space. And so they just sell for $60. And so for every shoe you buy as a customer, you're also helping to save the planet. And so you'll be helping to save over 12.66 kilograms of carbon dioxide equivalent per shoe you purchase. And so beyond just the shoes, because we realize that the downhill impact of the pollutants affect the people in the underserved communities the most, particularly the women, we decided to commit 5% of our profit to the cost of empowering the women in these communities. Here are our acquisition channels. And so here is our roadmap. We commenced in 2018. We currently have patent and design rights in our invention. We currently raised $50,000, and we're currently on the journey of raising $1 million. We currently have $100,000 in commitment also. By next year, we plan to initiate our franchise. This is our last slide. We're currently raising $1 million. This will be dedicated into scaling manufacturing and boosting customer acquisition. With the 55% of that, our current our revenue recurrently will be.
Sorry, Fela, that was me, my hammer hand, as Eugene likes to say. You ran out of time then, of course. Victoria, so Fela, you would just have to unmute yourself now, please. Victoria, do you have any questions for Fela?
No questions from me, thank you.
Thank you very much. Dikatso, immediately on to you.
Thank you so much, Fela, for your presentation. I've got two quick questions. The first is, what is some of the feedback that you've received from your 1,400 customers? And have you iterated your product since getting that kind of information? And secondly, you said 5% goes towards women empowerment to communities. What does that look like?
Fela, you are still muted.
Thank you. So we really take our feedback so serious, and the feedback actually lies around the aesthetics of the products. And so over time, we've reiterated, and we've actually, right now we are currently, the shoes are currently infused with air bubbles, and these have been improvements beyond the former. So it's really around those are the primary feedbacks. They really like the modular components of that. Is really the magic we are creating. Then because the women, because we realize that the downwind impacts of the pollutants affect the people in the underserved communities the most, especially the women. So it's the reason why we decided to commit 5% of this into the cost of empowering the women in these communities. And so the way the empowerment goes is that.
Sorry, that was the 1 minute we had for Dekatsu's question. Moving on to McAllery, do you have any questions?
So just say something about the team as well, and just curious, will you make running shoes?
All right, thank you. And so our team are actually, we are a mix of people from science and business background. And I have worked as an environmental scientist and as a business analyst for years. I studied environmental science in school, and so I am environmental toxicology. I have a CTO, I have a CEO, I have a CMO, and we also have advisors from the likes of Adidas, from the likes of Nike, and some other VCs. And so our team is strategically positioned for global scale and unique design. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. Then lastly, Osai.
All right, two questions, quick questions. I wanted to continue what Dekatsu's question about women. I was really interested in that. I also wanted to know where these shoes can be found besides online. Are they available in physical stores?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. Yeah, so about the first question around women. So we intentionally even collect our recycled, the plastic waste from these underserved regions, because the downward impacts affects the people in those communities the most. And so beyond that, so that's why we focus on the women there, and we carry on empowerment. And so the way it goes is we don't pay them directly, we empower them, we train them on how to produce these shoes, and so they directly become part of our employee. And so we are not giving them the money, we are empowering them to make more money for themselves and their families. Then for the shoes, our bulk of our acquisition channels are virtual and digital, and so you can get from our website. And we also currently have 2 stockists in Lagos, one in Abuja, then another in Europe. We are currently internationalizing our business in Europe right now. And so because we're having a lot of demands from there. So, but our primary acquisition channels are really digital.
Thank you very much, judges and Fela. I gave you a bit of extra time there. I assume Victoria would happily donate her minute towards this. Right, next up we have Yuan from South Africa with MediSize.
Hello, can you hear me and can you see me?
All of those things are going on, Yuan, so you can roll.
Great. Good afternoon and welcome to a new era in South African healthcare. This is MediSize. Let me introduce you to us. MediSize is about precise measurement of oxygen and carbon dioxide through exercise testing. The test is done on either a treadmill or a bicycle while the patient is wearing a mask while measuring the amount of oxygen inhaled and the amount of carbon dioxide exhaled. At the same time, the patient is also wearing an ECG monitor covering the full spectrum of the integrated system. This allows us to gather subclinical data, which in actual means diagnostic data at the hospitals are the primary source of data, but we are actually seeing at a lower level before the diagnosis happens, where we can identify the subclinical data. A practical example is a patient presenting lower back pain. While they're treating lower back pain, going through this assessment, we could actually identify that the problem was in the lungs. But because the problem was in the back, they only focus on the lungs. So to move forward, this is a quick video just for you to have an idea what cardiopulmonary exercise testing is all about. So cardiopulmonary exercise testing is covering healthcare over a complete spectrum. First of all, it's covering surgical risks. The lower the oxygen levels, the higher the risk for mortality and the higher the risk for complications. Also covering occupational medicine, cardiology. We can actually identify how much oxygen the heart is ejecting and not only focusing on diagnostic values. Pulmonology is allowing us to see how effective the lungs are ventilating. Prevention is all about identifying problems before it develops into a diagnosis. Sports medicine, we can allow athletes to increase their operational activities. Rehabilitation, nutritional medicine, the list goes on. We are the first movers in Africa. Cardiopulmonary exercise testing is already established internationally, but our growth rate is actually showing up at 51.8%. But we need investment to make this available for the patient. The interpretation of the data is everything. We have our own database allowing us artificial intelligence to come into the future. I'll get back to that later. The lack of oxygen led to an irregular heart rate, and the heart rate monitors, by the way, cannot identify this. This is the business model that we are currently using. We have a plug-in component because we need to allow the current sector to move forward during COVID, but we need to develop our ecosystem. The Medisize growth rate on the internet has shown at 254% of what Medisize has to offer. This is the team. I'm honored to have Professor Barnard, who was the head of biokinetics at Stellenbosch University, and Professor Dursting, who was the president of the American College of Sports Medicine. This is what it's all about. Our data allows us to solve problems, and therefore our objectives are to improve quality of care, reduce cost of care, improve economic environment. In order to achieve that, our short-term goals are in our plug-in system, while our mid-term goals are to generate our own software through AI so that we can use our own data, which in essence, our own long-term goal is to create the Medisize hospital. Become part of the journey, and I hope to see more of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johan. Dikatso, have you any questions for Johan?
Yes, thank you so much, Johan. So I think I need to understand the actual product a little better. Is the product the machine that tests the level of oxygen in the body, or are you trying to work with insurance companies? I think I'm a little unclear around what your solution is.
Perfect. So cardiopulmonary exercise testing is already applied all across the world, especially in Europe and America, all the hospitals. South Africa and Africa is just the only region where it's not used to. Our medicine, our healthcare society is not used to this. They don't also understand what type of data we actually coming from. So we're coming from exercise physiology. If you go over in the literature, the body has to be assessed during stress to really understand, for instance, to know what risk is for surgery. So the lower the body's ability to supply oxygen, the lungs and the heart, and the lower the ability of the body to use oxygen, the higher the risk of complications in hospital. So it's not a new thing. Cardiopulmonary exercise testing has been applied for many years before. South Africa is just not used to it.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. McAllery.
So how will you get our medical professionals or insurance companies to actually start using cardiopulmonary exercise testing? I mean, if they're not used to it, why would they now all of a sudden use it?
Because of the data. We've already seen, we've now operational for 15 months. As soon as because we interpret the data and we actually share them. To give you a practical example, a patient recently had a stroke and she went back to the doctor and everything seemed fine, but actually we could identify in precision medicine that the heart did not eject enough oxygen and the lungs had a dead space. So as soon as we expose that information to the medical aids, to the doctors, everyone buys in because they start to understand the true component of the healthcare profile.
Thank you very much. Osai.
Thanks, Johan. Very quickly, could you share more about the team? I think I saw just you and then a couple of advisors. Anyone else on the core?
These are teams. just to share with you, distinguished Professor Durstin, he is from South Carolina. He is a global expert in public health and also exercise activity combined in healthcare. He actually wrote the literature for healthcare for doctors, how to use exercise in the chronic management. Professor Barnard, he was the head of biokinetics at Stellenbosch University. Biokinetics in South Africa is a medical profession where exercise is part of the medical team.
Fantastic. And then Victoria.
Yep, thanks very much. I just wanted to ask what differentiates you from solutions that are already available out there that the rest of the world is using?
Yes, great question. So the data is there for everyone. So in our database, if I can go back here quickly, our database, because the professors are involved, we have a database that's built around 5 decades of literature. So because we have that information, we can really go into detail and have a clinical understanding from a physiological understanding, what to look for. And the goal with the AI is to combine the literature guidelines and the actual data that we have. And we've already actually started that where we can actually improve healthcare outcomes.
And then that brings us to the end of Medisize's presentation. Thank you very much, Johan, from South Africa with Medisize. Johan was also our 4th and final Stellenbosch University student or alumni. We were very lucky that we are, of course, with Stellenbosch University, and that it turned out that we had 4 of our students or alumni in the top 11. Definitely something for us to feel proud about. Then, second to last, Agrix Tech. Adamu, are you ready for us?
Yes, I'm ready. Let me share my screen.
Awesome. Ready when you are.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's start. In Cameroon, the percentage of small-scale farmers who are not able to make profit from their farming investment each season is nearly 40%. Most of these farmers rely on the profit from the end of the season to provide for their family and to plant in the next season. So even a slight loss of this income can result in a series of catastrophic consequences for them. So the 3 biggest farming risk factors are crop disease, poor farming practices, and funding. Many farmers are self-taught with minimal formal training. They lack the tools, knowledge, and resources which are available to larger players. Also, the farmers struggle to afford higher quality seeds and inputs. Agrix Tech is an AI-based platform that delivers a professional agricultural advisory service in a format that is easily understandable to any farmers, regardless of their education or experience. Our algorithms solve 3 major problems for our clients. We help them to choose the best crop based on their specific soil type, weather pattern, and previous crop history. We help them to properly monitor the healthy growth of their crop, and we help them to detect crop disease and pests very early and provide fast and effective solutions to minimize risk. The end result is that we remove uncertainty and high stress that these farmers experience. As for most of them, their farm is their only source of revenue. All this is available to our client at an affordable subscription fee of $10 per month. The subscription fee is only payable during the farming season and represent an increase of just 3% of your cost, while we decrease the risk of not making profit by 90%. We earn an average of $40 per farmers per season, and because we have automated the delivery of our service, our cost is just $20 per farmer per season. The market size for this opportunity is huge. Cameroon has about 2 million farmers, which represent a market value of about $200 million yearly. We expect to cover 15% of this market in the coming 3 years, and even just at 1%, meaning 20,000 farmers, Agrix Tech will generate about $2 million US. While our initial market is Cameroon, our AI cover crops that are grown in Senegal, Nigeria, Kenya, and most of sub-Saharan Africa. So it will be easy for us to enter this market. Our management team is composed of Dorothée. She worked for 4 years at the Institute of Agricultural Research and Development, where she developed organic solutions to help farmers mitigate and control crop diseases. Modeste, our CTO, was experienced in building software used by thousands of people, and me, an entrepreneur with many experience in building award-winning startups, leveraging my skills in sales and marketing. So to sum up, if you know organization or association of farmers, please come and speak to us. If you know credit lenders that are looking to expand your offering to farmers, please come and speak to us. And finally, if you know investor who would like to join us at this exciting inflection point of our growth, please come see us and we'll be happy to walk you through our model. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adamu. Fantastic presentation there all the way from Cameroon. And for our second to last pitch, I have once again lost track of my judges. So I am just going to call Osai again because he's always so nice to me. So I'm going to assume he will just help a girl out here.
All right. Thanks. Great presentation. Could you talk to us some more about your future plans and what comes next and what milestones you have planned out?
Okay, so we officially launched the commercial version of our product a month ago. Currently, we registered more than 500 small-scale farmers, and we already have 25 paying users. We already have impact on 70% on them by helping them to choose the right crop for their land. So we also partner with a microfinance institution, LAMEC, who proposed to fund our farmers based on our technical analysis. And with this partnership opportunity, we plan to service about 3,000 farmers in the next 6 months. And yeah, from there grow. We are currently raising 500,000 USD in order to fully automate our service and also fund our operations.
Righto, Victoria.
Great presentation and really great position. I'm just wondering, with this kind of thing, I mean, it seems like it needs a lot more sort of hands-on, like in person. I'm not sure all of this can be automated. Is there any sort of coaching, or where does the expertise come in to actually help these farmers do better?
So currently, we already automate the detection and diagnosis of crop disease. So it's through an app. They use the app in order to scan their farm on daily basis. And whenever there's a disease in their farm, at very early stage, we detect it and propose a treatment recommendation. Also, we automate the selection of crop based on your soil type, weather pattern, your region, and also your previous crop history. And we are currently developing the part of monitoring, the continuous monitoring of farmers. It will be in a form of continuous reminder every day or every week on what are the key activities they have to undertake in their farm in order to ensure that they have a good productivity. It will be a reminder. They will have the app and.
So, sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there. That was Victoria's minute. Dikatso.
Okay. Thank you so much, Amadou. I just had a question around the 90% failure that you guys removed from the crops growing. How do you test that, and what kind of assessments?
Yes. So basically, the 90% crop risk is the part which is due to human risk, because they are not mastering the art of farming. because they are self-taught farmers with very little access to knowledge and funding also. So as we provide funding to them, they can use higher technology in their farm that reduce the risk. And the 10% that remain are, I will say, accident like fire and also, I will say, natural disaster that we plan to cover also in the future with insurance for them. Once we have a certain amount of farmers and we can liaise with a partner at insurance in order to cover that.
Awesome. And are you guys only operating in Cameroon at the moment?
Yes, for the moment we operate in Cameroon. This is where we started, but our plan is to go global.
Right, McEllery.
Can you comment on the tech behind your solution?
Please again?
Can you make some more comments around the technology behind your solution? You've already started, I'm more curious.
Okay, so basically the feature which is working properly now is the detection, crop disease detection and diagnosis of crop disease. So it leverages machine learning techniques, convolutional neural networks. So we train our model with a data set of with image of disease crop. Currently, we have 6 crops which are covered by our app. Something that is also interesting in our solution is that the solution is given to farmers in voice notes in their local languages. That means if you are in West Cameroon, you can set the app in Pidgin and you will have your advice in Pidgin in your local language in voice notes, or in Yoruba and also in Fulbe, which are some of the languages which are spoken in Cameroon. So we did this because many farmers are self-taught.
Sorry, I don't know, it's me again.
Okay.
Me and my time, always. You and Eugene can write letters to my boss after this about me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your share. I don't know, we really appreciate it.
Thank you
very
much.
Great hearing about Agrix Tech all the way from Cameroon.
Thank you very much.
Gentle persons. So we have reached our final pitch of the day. Marta, Biomech from Mozambique.
Hello, and I hope everybody's having a good day. Can you see the screen already?
Yes, can see.
Perfect, thank you.
So ready when you are,
perfect.
Marta.
So hi, my name is Marta and I'm from Mozambique. Yeah, thanks. Hi, my name is Marta. I'm from Mozambique and
Marta, sorry, we are losing you there. I think you should turn your camera off. Maybe we should do ours as well.
2 years ago, while I was in college, just a second. Just this.
Okay, that yeah, you can turn off your camera, Marta, and then you can start over.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, can hear you and can see your screen.
Oh, perfect. So hi again. My name is Marta and I'm from Mozambique. So 2 years ago, while I was in college, a really good friend of mine had a car accident, lost part of his leg, and nothing was the same. He basically had a really hard time to have access to prostheses, either for the high prices, the long time it takes to obtain them, and even access to healthcare. But it's critical when it comes to children because it has the expensive process. It is, on the other hand, 6,400 tons of goldfish nets are discarded in the sea every year worldwide. Just to have an idea, 4 tons are collected here in Mozambique every year. And we decided to change that by transforming all these plastic residuals collected from the sea into high performance prosthetics. So basically, in the regular process, they mold, they cast, they vacuum form, they fit, they assemble. And if it fits you, perfectly. And if not, what happens like 2 and 3 times, you have to repeat the whole process, spending more material, time, and sometimes even money. And Biomech is doing in a different way. Basically, we are transforming plastic residuals from the sea. We are scanning the residual limb to get more data, and we print. Just like that, you have your prosthesis. So right now, we are conducting a pilot project with over 400 users, and by now we have like 203 active users. Our team is composed by young and very professional people. Since our product is based on waste, we are able to put our prosthesis in the market for $45 compared to the conventional prosthesis that are over $1,000. And we can build an entire prosthesis in 24 hours compared to the conventional process. And our main goal is to make people feel and experience life with possibilities. The milestone is about in the next 12 years, reuse 20% of the plastic waste from the most polluted beach in Mozambique. And we expect to have 1,500 persons to experience life with productivity and self-esteem by 2022, excuse me. Biomech is interested in create synergies with health, plastic, and transformation industry in increase and optimize line of production. Thank you. Liana, you are on mute.
Thank you. I muted myself to start speaking. Thank you, Marta. You caught me completely unawares there. You came in under 3 minutes. Wow. Right. Judges. Victoria, do you have any questions for Marta?
Just a case of, is this this material or thought process used anywhere else in the world already that could be brought into Mozambique, or where this could be extended internationally?
Yeah, actually, we use ghost fish nets collected from the sea, made of nylon, and we use PET bottles too. It's all over the place, literally.
Dikatso?
Thank you so much, Martha, for your presentation. I just wanted to confirm the $45, is that how much it costs to put together the prostates, or is it how much you're selling it for? And then secondly, what is your ask? What are you hoping to get from this competition?
Another very interesting question. So the cost of production is around $18, and the $45 is the price of the completed prosthesis. Of course, it depends on the level of amputation. Right here, we are talking about in the under-knee level of amputation. For this competition, we expect to establish a partnership with health and the plastic transformation industry, and to get like the technical, how do I say, technical support to improve the process and the product too.
McEllery.
Yes, so how do your patients or the people getting the prosthesis actually feel about them? I mean, yeah.
Oh, another very interesting question. We've been like conducting the pilot for 8 months. One of the things that really we have like really in count, how can I, yeah, that's, is the, it's about the self-esteem. It's not just about prosthetics, but to be able to give people productivity and self-esteem and really work on the design of the prosthesis.
And then Osai.
Awesome. This is pretty cool. Is this are these 3D printed by any chance, actually? And also, how do you plan to scale this? Are they going to be accessible online? Can I go in and order? Perhaps sending maybe a 3D scan of, you know, another limb to have that used as a basis for the printing. Are there any plans to do any of that?
Another really good question. So we use the 3D printer and injection technology. About the, excuse me, what was like the second question?
In terms of
scale.
you know, if people will be able to go online and order these, is there room for that tech?
Yeah, another good question. So basically, we have like a really technical teams composed by engineers and designers. The main challenge right now is to make this process so simple that all you need is a optometrist and not really like a engineer or designer. So basically, to have somebody with like really basic information about it, because at the end of the day, all you need to get to make this, it's basically a 3D scanner and a 3D printer. And sorry about my English. Here in Mozambique, we talk Portuguese.
Your English was stunning, your presentation and your answers all were. Thank you so much, Marta. Everyone, that was our last pitch for the day for our Science Idea and Startup Showcase. So now I think would be in a fantastic time if we could have gotten our contestants some of Scientia's products to calm the nerves a little bit, as the judges are going to step out for their deliberations now. So as we mentioned earlier, we are going to open breakout rooms for all of the businesses. Please, you are more than welcome to go join them. I told them they shouldn't feel too offended if no one joins, because it's awkward to think I'm going to step into a room and then it's just going to be me and Marta there, and then I'm going to have to look at her and we're going to have to chat. But do it anyway. You see, all of these entrepreneurs are so passionate about their businesses. They want to go out and do something amazing. So please, when we open our breakout rooms now, do take it a second, even if you just go in there and say, hey man, I think what you're doing is kick-ass. I promise you that will mean a lot to them. If you want to say to them, hey man, I want to give you $1 million worth of investment, I think that'll probably mean a bit more than the encouragement, but still. So, okay, we're going to open our breakout rooms now. We aim to be gone for about 10 minutes with our judges, but as we are ahead of schedule, that might be 12 minutes if we need to push it that far. So we're going to open breakout rooms. One of the rooms is the judges' breakout room. Please do not come in there. Unfortunately, I can't stop you from doing it, but if you do come in there, I'm going to have to be forced to remove you from the meeting. So feel free to join any of the businesses, but again, the judges, that was not a pitch that you didn't see, it is the actual judges. So judges, if you can join our judges only room, and everyone else, entrepreneurs, please go to your rooms. There we go, I've opened them now. So for those of you who maybe are not so familiar with Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, you should see 4 little squares that all form one big square that says breakout rooms. And from there, you should be able to join whichever room you want. So judges, please go ahead. I'm going to join you in your room just now. I'm just going to hang out here a little bit in case anyone needs anything, and hand over control to my colleague, Daniel, who will help in my absence. There we go. Thank you, Daniel.
Sorry, I just want to check if I go into the breakout rooms and then you click on the judges room. Hopefully it's take it. There we go. Huh? Oh, hopefully I'm in the right place now.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. How you doing?
Good. There we go. Great.
So wait, sorry, guys. I don't know if is this the judges room now?
Yes, it is.
How does it work? Oh my God. Sorry, I don't know how to join the.
So Stephanus, if you look at the breakout room at the bottom, you just click there. You should see which one you can go to.
Daniel, you should also be able to assign people to specific
All right,
rooms.
I'll also do that. Make it easier. Okay. Just one person, Grace.
Okay, will you give preference to Victoria quickly? She has to join us for judging.
Okay, where's Victoria? I'm just finding.
Oh, am I not here?
But Victoria's here.
I'm here.
Yes, but she should go to our judging room.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I see
So,
that Marta
yeah.
from Biomech is in Medisize's room. So if you could reassign her to Biomech, where I see Tandy from Inwifis is waiting for her.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
So-
Then I'll go back to our judges room.
Liana, I've got no idea what's happening. There's no breakout room in my. They were there. I thought I was going to the judges' room. That has now. I mean, there is no.
Have you lost it all? Daniel, can you see? Can you see the settings?
I see the settings, but it appears that the judges' room has disappeared from my settings as well.
Oh dear. Okay. Do you want to hand over the host
I'll
to me
hand
again
over
quickly,
to
and
you
I'll
real
sort
quick.
us?
Yeah.
See if I can rather.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I tried to click on it, but it didn't take me there.
No, you know what? I've experienced this many times in this when we use this Zoom room of ours for some reason.
What
There
I
we go.
find
It
if
should
you,
pop
if you
up
try
on your
if you
side
try
now.
to click it, it sort of to jump around all the time. So.
So, Bert, where Victoria, did yours come up now? Yes. Okay, Victoria's gone. Bert, where did you want to go?
Also judges, I think, because I have to do the prize thingy. So
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
There we go, Bert. Are you on your way? Okay, Daniel, I'm going to hand over to you
All right.
again.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Liana. I see there's still a couple of people in the main room. Do you guys maybe want to tell me where you want to go, and I can assign you there? Unless you want to stay here, that's also cool, I guess. Fela, you muted. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. Okay, Shlan. Okay, where would you like to go? Isan Ahmed. Martha's room. All right, second. There you go. All right, Luan, you can stay here, that's fine. Hey, Yobet, so we've opened the breakout rooms now. So if you want to visit any particular group that pitched, you're welcome to do so. If you go into the breakout room, you can just join anyone you want.
Thanks, Daniel.
No problem.
Sorry, everyone, I hope you're not too excited. We were actually just booted out of our judging room. We were not ready, really to go. So Daniel, if you could just open it up for us again, please.
No
That would be
problem.
great.
Sure.
We are almost done. Just 2 more to finalize, everyone. Thank you.
Is everyone joining Daniel's breakout room?
Not my breakout room. This is the main room. So you should be joining some room. I can also assign you if you know where you need to go.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
You're good here.
I'll just see who's in. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go.
All right, because I see there's a bunch of people here still. It's either you want to be here or you don't know how to get to your room.
No, it's all good. I'll just join up.
Charles, you want to say something? You know where you want to go?
Are we supposed to go back to the breakout room?
Yes, you're supposed to go back to your.
No, okay, sorry.
You're supposed to go back to your breakout room because you still have time. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Malta, Isan wanted to join your breakout room. Did he manage to join your breakout room just now?
It's okay.
Oh, okay. As he joined your breakout room, there was somebody who wanted to join your breakout room just now, just before you guys came back. He specifically asked for yours.
Okay.
So maybe if he's in,
and
right?
I'm going.
Yeah, go. Bye. Okay. Luto, I see you're still here. Do you need help? Okay, Luto is gone. Great.
Right, everyone, thank you so much for waiting. Oh, Daniel, I see we've lost a lot of people, including our entrepreneurs.
We've lost a lot of people, so but they are still in their breakout room. I'll just close it now. And
oh, okay, cool. Yes, please close. Yeah. Oh, thank the Lord. I was afraid that we'd lost them somehow.
No.
Okay, fantastic.
So I'll just make you back the host.
Thank you. Okay, the breakout room is going to be closed in 10 seconds.
It's already closed. We're here.
No, we still need 2 people. There we go. Right. Everyone, thank you so much for waiting for us. It almost became a bloodbath in there. I had to keep people from hitting each other. It got flippin' wild. Threats were made. I think packets of anthrax might be mailed around. It was difficult. No, not really. It was a very, very, very challenging decision. Our judges debated long and hard, as you now know. So we have come to the part of the day that everyone has been waiting for. I just put here back on our screen the prizes that are up for grabs today. We've got our existing business, which features a lot of cash prizes and spots in our incubation programs and mentoring with our CEO. The idea, also a cash prize, and then lots of work on those ideas to make them into world-shaping businesses. And then, of course, we have our Alphawave Tech Entrepreneur Prize, which is specifically for Alphawave's focus areas. So very happy to hand over now to Professor Bert Klimperman from the University of Stellenbosch's science faculty. He's going to be doing our prizes, but I will have them appear on screen as you share them with us. So please take the stage. I know everyone is dying to find out.
Will do. So shall I do it in a reverse order as we usually do?
Oh, for sure.
Or is that too complicated for your appearing on the screen?
That is not the order in which I made them appear on the screen, Bert, but please go for it. I'll make them appear later.
All right, okay, I'll do. So before I announce the prizes, I want to thank Liana for organizing this and for being the master of ceremony during the, and being the tough person on the timing. I think it was a very nice event, and I joined the judges' deliberation, and like Liana said, it was a really, really tough decisions that were made. So yeah, very good competition. But yeah, let me announce the prizes. We'll start with the ideas section. On 3rd place, Ciencia, and then on 2nd place, AgroHusk, and on 1st place in the idea section, Aircool Africa. So congratulations to all those 3. Then for the existing businesses, on 3rd place from Mozambique, Biomec. On 2nd place from Stellenbosch, Tech. And 1st place, Salubata from Nigeria.
Congratulations,
so,
everyone.
Congratulations, also from my side.
Congratulations, winners. You, and of course, everyone else who participated today. As I said, it was really very, very difficult for the judges to choose. I think if I gave them control of the purse strings, you would all walk out of here with prizes today. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it. Our judges, our sponsors, our audience, but of course, most of all, our entrepreneurs. It was invigorating to see all of your pitches today. You are doing amazing stuff, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you on the cover of Forbes. Before we go, oh, sorry, I ran past that. I hope no one saw that. Victoria, sorry. Would you like to announce our Alphawave winner for us? No, you're muted, Victoria, so you can't announce it.
Sorry, yes, guys, thanks everyone for the presentations. Everyone was really well thought out, and thanks so much, Liana and team for hosting this. Agrix Tech really has put so much thought into this, and really hoping you're going to change the world for so many people using technology in such a cool way. So well done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria, and sorry for that spoiler there. And congratulations then to you, Agrix Tech. Before you run,
Thank you so much, everyone.
I just have to draw your attention, of course, to 2 other things that we've got going on. We've heard a lot about data and AI here today. We have our annual hackathon coming up with Intersect and Capitec, where data science and software engineering will be used to tackle data-driven and fintech industry problems. So Daniel should be posting the link to that in our chat right now. If he's not, I promise I'm going to spam you with it afterwards anyway. And then sorry, that is taking place. I did not put the date in here, Daniel. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. Can you tell us the date?
That's quite all right. So applications close on the 1st of October. So you have until then to register. You can enter as a single in person or as a team up to 5 people. So the challenges were divided into data science and software. So you get to choose which challenge you get to solve for a cash prize. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, I'm posting the link now.
Thank you, Daniel. And then last, we have our Accelerating Circular Economy in Africa project with our partners, the government of Finland and ICLE. So this is a massive project that's all about developing and promoting circularity in South Africa specifically. It consists of 3 phases, essentially. One that entails incubation and upskilling of businesses. That is the part, of course, shocker, where LaunchLab is involved. We incubate the circular businesses. We saw so many amazing circular businesses today. And I mean, we saw 3 of them win prizes, in fact, being Biomex, Salubata, and AgroHus. So any businesses that you know who are also circular in nature, please encourage them to apply to this. Daniel will also be posting the link to this just now. And then also a year-long action and learning festival with webinars and events that are made for networking and exposure. And then lastly, but this has nothing to do with us, they're also going to help our local governments in South Africa get a bit more on point with supporting circular businesses. So thank you again, everyone. It was wonderful to see you all here today. Thank you so much for taking the time, and congrats again to our entrepreneurs. I look forward to seeing you again, each and every single one of you, on the cover of Forbes eventually. We are going to change the world together. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely afternoon.